Ma Rainey's Black. What?
Black
big black band. I didn't know what I was about to say.
I thought Ma Rainey's Big Things Poppin' was...
So overall, I thought Ma Rainey's Big... What the fuck am I?
Nigga trying to turn this bitch to a porno. I thought Ma Rainey's Big Bubble Butts was a great, phenomenal... it's Ma Rainey's Black Bottle.
I know.
Okay.
So I thought Ma Rainey's Black Box... Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cinecism. I'm Eric.
It's your boy Dante, man, and today we're going to be doing a review on Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is a Netflix original, semi-true story based on the legendary blues singer Ma Rainey from the 20s. Basically, the story revolves around her traveling to Chicago to meet with her band to record some music to like make a record out of, basically. She's meeting with her manager who is... that dude is so shook to her.
Yeah, he was. Listen,
the movie is really more dialogue and conversation driven than like action or event driven. You get a lot of time with the members of the band talking to each other, and then some time with members of the band talking to Ma Rainey. It's a lot of exchanges between people. So it's a dialogue heavy movie.
So I was unfamiliar with the history around Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, but when I was watching this movie, I said to myself, like, man, this whole thing is really starting to unfold like a play would. It's usually very much an isolated setting, and it's a lot of character monologues and dialogue. Mm-hmm. Then come to find out, this movie is actually based off of a play. There's not a lot of locations. It's all taking place in this studio, but it's a lot that happens in that studio. The star of the movie, of course, is legendary blues singer Ma Rainey. She is a very no-nonsense individual. When I was watching this movie, I was kind of like wondering if I liked her character, because on the one hand, I appreciated what she was doing at this time, because she was being very difficult and she was being very like in your face to the white people. And given this time, this is the 1920s. So that type of stuff just does not happen. So I was here for that. But the person today in me was just like, man, why is she being such an ass? You know what I'm saying? It was just like everything. It was heightened diva mode. But she also went into explanation about why she did that. And I appreciated that because it said a lot. She said something to the effect of, she knew that these record executive people and her manager did not care about her personally. They just want to use her for her voice. So she was saying, afterwards, after they done with you, they gonna get rid of you, and I'm gonna milk it up until that point. They're not gonna just use me and discard me. Like, I'm gonna make that time worth it for me, and in between that time, they gonna do what I say. And I respected that, and I really liked her.
She said that, bro. I felt her so much like after that, and I have no more problem with how she.
Not at all. I was
like, you know what? She got a point.
She's 100% right.
She's basically a person that knows her worth and she knows her value to other people. She takes full advantage of that, as a smart individual would do in given that time period. Right. And if that was how her character or her who she was or how she acted as an actual person, that just gives me a whole newfound respect for her.
Same.
Because it was real during that time. So whatever upper hand or leverage you can get, given those times, man, I'm here for it.
She got in a car accident and was talking to the police officer crazy, which is not even something I would recommend you do today. Right. And you can't help but respect one of the first people ever to have a grill in their mouth. She had a gangster grill, and she got her girl got a girlfriend.
Right. Had a little boo thing. Young joint.
When the movie first kicked off, I thought she had a boy and a girl on her. I ain't know little homie was her nephew.
I thought them were her kids at first.
No, I knew because how she grabbed. I knew at least with the girl. Because when you first meet her in the hotel and she coming out of the hotel, everybody kind of giving her looks. Yeah. She put her arm on old girl away, and then she put her arm around the little boy. I was like, oh shit.
Then you have Ma Rainey's band led by Cutler. He's kind of like the de facto leader. It's a bunch of older gentlemen, and then you have Chad Boseman, who plays like the newest member of the group. He plays the trumpet. He is very outspoken, and he's another person who knows his value, and he's got all these ideas he wants to add to the dissatisfaction of the band, of course, and Ma Rainey herself. So he's trying to sell some of the personal songs that he's written to this record or the recording manager.
Levee represents the clash between like old school, new school.
Yeah.
Like it's just a classic case of that. He's young and he's on the cusp of a new sound. Like he knows what's going on in the streets. You know, the older generation, everybody else in the band comes from an older generation of a certain kind of way of blues. And I think Levee's kind of coming up on the cusp of what was swing music, coming more on an upbeat tempo and trying to encourage them to start playing that type of music, which of course Ma Rainey doesn't do, and whatever Ma Rainey say, go. So they're clashing. He's also clashing with Cutler, who is kind of her main mouthpiece in the band when she's not there. His intent is in the right place. He's young and he's idealistic and he's kind of arrogant.
And
knows, yes.
Not forget crazy.
That part too, we don't really realize that till later on. We'll talk about that. But
just to speak on Chadwick Boseman briefly, like he's one of those actors that I just see totally different characters in everything he does. I always think that's a feat, especially when they look similar to other characters from other movies they've been in, but their personality and the way that they act out the character is just totally different. This character that he plays in this movie is totally different than any other character he's played in any other even historical movies.
I would argue that he kind of not likable in this movie. I'm gonna be dead ass serious.
He's got a charm to him, but he's definitely not he's not a personable.
He just keep running his mouth, man. Like I was like, bro, if this was a real dude, I probably would not like this dude at all. He just would not shut up. You know what I'm saying? And I've never had that experience. And I kind of thought the same thing what you just said, which is just like, damn, Chadwick Boseman, man, such a phenomenal actor, just gone way too soon. But that's such a notch in his acting ability that he could be that character. Because of course, he's the furthest thing from this character in real life, but I've never felt like I didn't like a Chadwick Boseman character.
What else can we say about Levee?
Yeah. You know what was interesting? And I ain't even going to say, all right, so the story this is the thing, right? The movie has a moment where they kind of like roasting on each other. My whole thing is this. Like, he told a very tragic story, right? It was a very long monologue. Situations like that are annoying. I'm not gonna lie. When you roasting somebody and they just get serious out of nowhere, you're like, all right, dude. Like, you roasted on us.
He's been on everybody's head, though.
Dog, he would not leave people alone.
Old heads, too.
Yes.
Like, come on, bro.
Roasted everybody. Then they said something about him. He was like, I've been through something, man. I've been through something. I was like, all right, bro.
You know what was funny, but I mean, I guess not funny, but just the reaction to the situation was funny to me. When Ma Rainey brought her nephew in there and he was trying to do the little intro, Levee was just looking at
everybody was like,
yeah, it was.
But it was everybody. It was the one time that I think they were all on the same page.
It was just so awkward.
Her nephew was trying to do this spoken word part, really just a spoken word intro for the song that they have to do. But he has a stutter, so as you can imagine, comedy ensues from that point on. With a movie like this, is not a lot going on in terms of action. It's dialogue heavy. I enjoyed really all of the conversations between Levee and the band. I thought you had a lot of really good moments for that, especially since it was such an age gap and you got to hear about just the different stages of life.
Movies like this ain't for everybody. Let me just throw that out there. Like, I know some people aren't big fans of like movies that just feel like just conversations, but I personally don't mind that. I actually enjoy it. It always has such a natural feel to me when people are like communicating. That's how people communicate in everyday life. Right. Even in shows too. Like we just had an episode of Euphoria that was very similar.
Yeah. I guess I'll say I really enjoyed Ma Rainey getting to talk a little bit more about her and her background. I thought Viola Davis did a just phenomenal job of bringing this person to life. Like you said, if she was anything like this, I'm fucking with it. Especially in this time period, this is like unprecedented.
She was bold, man.
Yeah, right. I was like, oh, they gonna kill her. Is that how this movie going in? With Ma Rainey getting gadded up?
Ashley would have made more sense than the ending we got. I mean, I feel like I can't omit the ending to this movie.
Oh yeah, we was coming to that.
Before I even talk about it, let me ask you this: was this based on the true story? Like this actual event? This wasn't. The band members were not. They were fictional, right?
She obviously had a band.
She had a band, but he was a fictional.
Yeah, I don't think these are the actual.
When I looked them up, I ain't even like this. Yeah. You couldn't even like look up the actual.
No, these are
so
not the real characters.
A movie like this, I give them a pass when it comes to some things that happen in the movie. Yeah, because it's like, how am I going to judge like shit that actually took place?
This happened.
Like, you got to judge movies like that with a different rubric,
right?
You judge,
1000%.
Purely. Now, having said all that, this movie didn't appear to be based on a true story. No. So, what the fuck was up with that ending?
I don't know.
How did you interpret that?
All right.
How did it make you feel?
Well, those are two very different questions.
I want to hear both.
Well, it made me feel very confused because I didn't think that ended had anything to do with the movie. It didn't make any sense for a couple reasons. Basically, what happens is that at the end of this movie, Levee's character ends up stabbing Toledo, which is the oldest member of the band, and probably the person that he interacted with. Right. Like, it wasn't the fact that, all right, he shouldn't have stabbed anyone.
Man, really trying to...
Let me say that. If he was going to stab somebody, it should have been either Ma Rainey or Cutler, because those are the people he was beefing with the most. Yeah. And it was also a scene where he pulled out a knife on Cutler and was getting ready to stab him. So that would have made way more sense. I knew what happened, right? He snapped. Throughout this whole movie, like we mentioned, he was trying to sell his music. And the recording manager had promised him he was going to let him record his music and things like that. He said he was going to get a band together. He was going to let him record his music. He was going to be a big star. So two big things happened. One, Ma Rainey kicked him out the group because she was tired of his shit. She was tired of his ideas. She was tired of him kind of stepping over what she wanted out of her own band. So he got kicked out. Then almost immediately after that, the guy reneged on his promise to Levee, and he said he wasn't going to let him record it and things like that. So he really snapped, and then throughout the movie, he bought a new pair of shoes. He's like wearing these shoes, which were expensive. Then the older gentleman has stepped on his shoes, and I think he just had a moment of insanity, honestly. I think the nigga just went crazy. You know, he ain't had shit else. He lost a job, he lost his prospect, and he had these shoes, and the old head stepped on him.
I mean, that's the only thing that could make sense now.
What did you think?
I ain't know what to think. So what you just said, like, given that he had his music taken away, his potential career, I guess that was the last straw.
Yeah, he snapped.
Just blacked out or something. And I don't think he meant to kill him.
No,
either,
he didn't. He didn't. Of course, you can't stab somebody that old. I mean, they're going to die. Most people would die anyway. But if you're that old, you're not going to survive a stabbing. I'm just saying. It was unfortunate. And that's the end of the movie. Like, when
that's the problem. Yeah. The fact that was the end of the movie. It could have happened, but why did it have to end it like that?
Yeah, you get no resolution. Ma Rainey done left. She drove off in the car with her booze, and she out.
It was one of those endings that just left me like,
Yeah.
I didn't feel good about it.
But I also say that was another moment that reminded me of plays, because plays tend to end weird like that. Think of just like Romeo and Juliet. You know, they took poison. That's the way that this shit end. Like, could you imagine if Love and Basketball ended, them niggas just take poison?
I mean, that makes sense though. In the context of that play, it made sense.
That they took poison and died?
Because of their story, and they wanted to be with each other and shit.
No, it don't make no sense, man. They could have lived, dog. She came from money. Take a couple of them gold chalices, and y'all could go to Rome or something. Oh, you know what? Because one of them had got stabbed or something, right? One of them was already dying, wasn't it?
One of them took the poison. I think something happened.
They shouldn't have took the poison. That was their idea. They decided to take the poison. I think one of them thought the other was dead and then drunk the poison because.
And then one of them was like,
and then
the other one wasn't dead.
Yeah,
and they drunk the
what a dumb shit turned to the Three Stooges. Like, what the fuck?
And then there's retellings of the story too. So.
Right? Yeah, I'm talking about the original
Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. You don't even sound sure of that.
Nah, I'm talking about that. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
That one.
All
Shakespeare
of them.
Did one too.
I was talking about the Spike Lee joint. Homie had in Jules.
I have to look it back up, but I'm pretty sure one of them thought that the other was dead.
That is what happened.
Then they killed him.
Yeah, that is what happened.
They killed himself. And
check a pulse. They sleep. Just like, oh, my nigga dead, B. And chug poison. You ain't do no vital smoke.
Juliet tonight. So I thought Ma Rainey's Black Bottom was a pretty decent watch. I really enjoyed the conversational element of it. It wasn't a whole lot of events or set pieces taking place in the movie.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for that, it's not the movie you're going to want to watch. This is more of a grounded movie, a short story, basically.
Yep.
So overall, given all of that, I think I'm going to give Ma Rainey's Black Bottom 7.5 out of 10 for me.
Overall, I really enjoyed this movie, man. Like Eric said, there's not any other set pieces but this studio. That's where this all takes place. But to have it feel like it's motion, It's more motion than that. It felt like it was more set pieces. It's literally an upstairs and a downstairs. They felt like they built this world that was beyond this studio. And that was just all through the character dialogue, which I really appreciated. Overall, I'm going to give Ma Rainey's Black Bottom a 7.5 as well. I definitely think it's worth checking out.
You know, it was one thing. What did you think that little room that Levee kept trying to get in, or that open area?
Yeah.
What was that about?
You know what, man? That's very interesting.
Did that represent something?
You know what? I personally thought that it might have represented his sanity too, like in a metaphorical way. He kept trying to get into this door that was in the dressing room. It was subtle, right? He would be in the middle of talking, trying to get in this room, and he never could get in it because it was like locked. After everything came to a head and he got kicked out of the band, that's when he actually got into the room. And I wonder if in some way that kind of represented him just being contained for a while, and he finally just broke through his own sanity or something. And it was nothing in the room too, man. It was weird.
That was the most disappointing part.
Yeah, I was like, man, it was literally nothing. It was like
wasted space.
Yeah.
Got utilized in the floor plans or something.
Yeah.
Just open, unused space.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Or it could also mean that throughout the movie, he was trying to break through, I guess, his own creativity, or break through in terms of his career, and there was nothing there. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he kept trying to break through this door throughout the whole movie, both figuratively and actually and physically trying to break through in life, and it just turns out it led to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, I can get behind that idea.
Yeah, I think that could be it too.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to our review of the Netflix original film, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I hope y'all enjoyed that. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content. And if you have any suggestions, whether it be for a movie or a trailer or a series that you'd like to see us review, don't forget to drop a comment below.
And if you guys have seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, please let us know what you thought. I would like to know what y'all thought about some of the more odder moments that occurred. What did y'all interpret the murder of that Levee committed as, and what was y'all thoughts on what the black box or the room that he was trying to get into ultimately was as well? We'd like to know that. Drop a comment below.
Yes, please tell us.
Right. We appreciate y'all, man.
Yeah, thank y'all.
Peace.
Peace.